Joy and sadness get lost in long-term memory during Riley's first class at school, and when we get back to them during dinner, they are in the exact same place that they started. This means that they spent hours doing nothing. They then spend even more time enjoying Imagination Land instead of trying to get back to headquarters on time. I touch on this more in point 16, but there isn't really a reason for Joy and Sadness to walk all the way through Imagination Land or to interfere at Dream Productions. There's a clear theme of sadness is just as important as joy, which is only obvious at the end of the film. Once upon a time, there was an emotion named Joy. Every day, she made sure that Riley stayed happy. One day, Riley moves from Minnesota to San Francisco. Because of that, she cries in school and forms a sad core memory. Because of that, Joy and Sadness are sucked out of headquarters, until finally Joy realizes why sadness is necessary. Notice how much of the movie was left out. The reason that I can't insert more is that Joy's goals and motivations don't change at all throughout most of the movie. Bing Bong can simply be cut entirely. What did he even do? You could say that he provided motivation for Joy, but she was always completely motivated to get back to headquarters. You could also say that he got Joy and Sadness into trouble, but in all of those cases, Joy and Sadness were fully able to see for themselves what they were doing. The only thing he did was that he got Joy out of the chasm, and the only reason that they were in the chasm was because of Joy's bad decisions, i.e. taking the memory recall tube despite knowing that Family Island was collapsing and could easily smash the tube. Joy is used to Riley always being happy, and when she moves, this stops being true. The ending is that Joy understands Sadness's purpose. This does not solve the original misunderstanding, as Sadness was making Riley feel sad in many inappropriate situations which are not comparable at all to the situation at the end. There were still major revisions of the plot being done continuously up to the first evaluation screening, but after that the number of revisions dropped. When Joy is sucked into the recall tube, is there any reason that the other emotions can't deactivate it, given that the control panel is right in front of them? Part of the inspiration for this film was Pete Docter's experiences at Riley's age, where he would stay inside drawing while other kids played sports outside. There were 7 different versions of the film that existed before production even started. It was originally Joy and Fear who got lost in long-term memory, as this was the most humorous choice. This was changed because sadness is crucial to emotional renewal. The film tries as hard as possible to make Joy look like the victim of the conflict as opposed to the perpetrator, which is a very bad tone for a character that is supposed to be undergoing character development. Pete Docter was inspired to make this film after seeing his own daughter enter adolescence and where Joy acts like a parent. However, this doesn't work not only because Riley's age and reasons for becoming unhappy are very different, but also because Joy simply isn't there for a large portion of the movie, and her art consists of having to get to a physical place instead of an emotional place. It is highly unrealistic that moving would be as sudden of a change as it is described in the film. In reality, Riley would probably know about it months in advance, giving her significant time to prepare. This movie has absolutely no stakes for the following reasons. A. Is there any reason that fear, anger, and disgust can't use the memory tube to retrieve the core memories? Even if they can't for some reason, the mind workers don't do anything to help, despite knowing that joy and sadness not being in headquarters will be a major disaster. We also know that sadness is the only one that can affect memories by touching, since fear handles many happy memories. B. There is significant tension revolving around the islands of personality falling into the subconscious, even though we see earlier and later that inserting a core memory will instantly make an island appear. C. Both joy and sadness can read, yet they ignore the danger sign and go through abstract thought. Also, it looks like it would only take 1 minute to get through, given how wide it is. Also, all three of them should be running through abstract thought to ensure that they catch the train. Also, how did it get turned on when the other door was still open? D. Why do joy and sadness think that they can walk through imagination land and get to the next station before the train gets there? They are better off simply waiting for the next train, as they don't appear to be in any kind of time crunch. E. Why can't fear simply put the hockey memories in the memory viewer during the tryout? Do they need to be core memories? F. Why do Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong need to go to Dream Productions? They only need Riley to wake up, and they know that Dream Productions is producing something, and they know that any type of dream would certainly wake Riley up. Also, even if Riley can somehow sleep through a dream, the dream that was being produced that night would likely end in everyone laughing at Riley, which would wake her up and not risk Joy and Sadness being imprisoned. Also, Joy knows that Riley can't be happy if Joy isn't in headquarters, so exciting her awake isn't going to work. And G. The train of thought is magical as we see it creating the track out of thin air ahead of it. This means that, even though Honesty Island destroyed it, Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong can easily wait for the next train. But no, they decide to take the recall tube, which they should have taken at the beginning, yet is now a lot more dangerous, which they should know considering what happened to the train of thought. Also, is there only one recall tube in the entirety of Riley's long-term memory? The architecture of Riley's mind underwent many changes throughout development in order to make it fit with their personal struggles. Joy's final test is that she has to let Sadness use the console to make Riley return home. This was done largely out of absolute necessity as opposed to choice, as none of the other emotions could use the console. It sure is convenient that Joy is able to use the imaginary boyfriend generator with extreme precision to make it back to headquarters. It wasn't like she was sacrificing herself, as there wasn't anything to sacrifice for, since she would have been forgotten along with all of the core memories. In most Pixar films, the protagonist has to go to a completely unfamiliar place. However, Joy knows exactly how Riley's mind works, so the only time that she goes to an unfamiliar place is at the beginning when Riley moves. Riley running away from home is highly unrealistic, as she is still being fed and sheltered, her family is in no way dysfunctional, and she wasn't encouraged to run away by her peers. Riley moves from Minnesota to San Francisco, all of Riley's emotions go crazy, and Joy attempts to stay positive but eventually realizes the necessity of sadness. Also, Joy and Sadness get sucked into long-term memory, have to find their way back, meet Bing Bong, get sent to the dungeon, etc.